So you go, actually I'm just gonna make this picture so that you can see when we're talking about this, so that you are actually I can just share screen, then you can see it too. So this is over. I'm gonna stop sharing, okay? So I'm gonna share my screen. Second monitor. All right, good. So you see the questions? Okay, so so your uncle is gonna give you $1,000 now. So your great uncle has decided to give you a gift of $1,000. Okay, you want to figure out whether you want to take $1,000 now or take $1,200 later. And your job is to figure out how will you make the decision. How will you make a decision? It's whatever you like to say. It's okay. Okay, whatever you like to say. That's just 5 points. And then 2, you're supposed to go research interest rate. Okay, for saving account, checking account, and money market. You can go, I guess, bankrate.com. They have many, and then you can do saving and checking. Now, so there are your choices you can pick, and then you pick some saving or money market or whatever. You need to pick a saving, a money market, and a checking for one bank, and then for 2 banks actually, 2 banks. So let's say money market, IRA. We're not doing IRA, just do money market. Okay, so you have $1,000, so enter 1,000 here. Okay, so it recalculated for you what is available for you, and you see, okay, what are the banks available? Okay, so let's look at this Barclays Bank. You click over there, and it's okay. It's a APY, mean annual percentage yield, and you look at the offer. No minimum balance, so 1,000 is okay. No monthly fees, okay. So no monthly fee. Minimum to avoid is 0. So you can write check. No, you cannot write check. But the rate is 1%. Okay, the rate is 1%. It's at 1.15. The 1.15 is probably for if you have more money. But for you, what you can actually get is 1% with $1,000. So you will say, okay, Barclay Bank, but you risk Barclay 1% saving 1%. And then you try to see whether Barclay offers money market too. You know, go to their website and see. So do you think you can do your research yourself? Do you know how to do research? So you just have to go to their bank and see, okay, do they have other account? No, they don't. They only have saving. Okay, dream account. What kind of dream account are they talking about? So Barclay only have saving. CD rate. So a bank's rate give you like a very quick way to see a lot of saving account. You pick a bank that give you 3 kinds of saving, checking, and money market. One bank that I would recommend is Capital One, because I know they have 3 kind of products. Some banks only have savings, some banks only have checking. Or you can pick American Express. They're all here. You just pick something. So your goal, once you find something that you like, once you find something, bankrate.com, okay, bankrate.com. This is like the quick way to get everything all at once. So get a saving account, checking account, and money market for one bank, and then list them, and then calculate how much you will earn after 5 years using this formula or a TVM calculator. This formula might be better because you know what's going on. And then after you're done with one bank, and then research another bank, and then calculate how much you will earn using this formula. So if they have 1%, if their rate is 1%, then you should put 1% here, change it to decimal, is 0.01. And then usually they compound either monthly or annually. You need to read. So if it's monthly, then it's 12 here because it compound 12 times every year. And then you will have a 12 in the end here. Okay? And then the T will be 5 years because you are calculating for saving for 5 years. Your PV will be 1,000. You're taking note. Your PV will be 1,000 because that's how much you start with. Okay, so once you get the rate, you plug it in numbers and you should calculate the answer. Right? So do you feel better what to do here? Okay. Okay, good. So after you know, whatever bank you research and you compare whether you're gonna, now you think about it. Are you gonna take 1,000 today or are you gonna wait for 5 years? Now, common sense, if you, after you calculate all the numbers, right, you should have six numbers because one for each, and then there are 2 banks. If none of them give you more than 1,200, you probably just have to wait for 5 years to get 1,200 from your uncle, right? Make sense? And then the last part, what are some factors can cause the value of market today to be different from its value in the future? Some people say inflation. Some people say it's whatever you know already. Usually people say inflation. And some people say things get expensive. That is the same thing as inflation. So some people say economy might change, and that is more than just inflation. Currency might change because sometimes if you live in, it's just whatever you say is fine. We're not. It's just 5 points. At this point, we're not economy classes. We're not gonna go to detail about this. So just whatever you think it is. So you think you're good with this discussion?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next discussions, the Cool tool. Cool tool is just basically you have the handout, and then you answer the questions of the handout, and one of the share the answer of the handout. I can pull out the TVM calculator. Let me see. So the TVM calculator, clear. This is the one you should use. So let's see. Can you pull it up too? Then you can work along with me.
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay, let's work on the first question. You have the Cool tool handout with you?
Yes, I have to pull it up. Okay. I have it.
Okay. So let's go number 1. Okay, let's see how we use Cool 2 for number 1. So in Josephine's initial situation, she plans to retire in 50 years with 1 million in savings. Vanessa advised her to find an account that earned at least the current rate of inflation. Use this information to complete the table below. So what do we know about this current rate? So we know 50 years, okay? Hold on, where do they find the current rate in this question? My current rate that I have is 5.6%. Where do I see this again? Yeah. Let me see. Hang on. Okay, after we talk about this, alright, so this is where it come from, okay? The 5.6%. But now instead of using this FV formula, we are going to use a TVM calculator to get the same number, okay? We are trying to figure out if she wants to get if she wants to get 1 million in 50 years using current rate, like current interest inflation rate, how much should she have already right now, okay? So what we don't know is PV, so we leave that blank. Go back to your TVM calculator. But we need 1 million here. So when I know I need 1 million here. Okay, and my current rate is 5.6 compounded annually, so it's 5.6%. And because it's annually, when you enter number of periods, you in your content page it shows you number of period changes based on. It should be something that showed you that. Where is it? Let me see. Anyway, let me recite with my own words. If I will type it in here. If anything that compound annually, okay, so you will use 1 multiplied by how many years? Because annually, once a year, right? If you say compounded quarterly, then you use 4 multiplied by how many years? And that is the year is your P. So if you say 50 years, you do 4 times 50. If you say semi-annually, you use 2 multiplied by how many years? Okay. So this will be your period. Okay. So here you say compounded annually. Okay, once a year. The interest rate was compounded annually. So we're gonna have 50 here. Go to number of period because only once a year, so go 50. Payment. If they say, okay, every month I'm gonna pay $50. Okay, then your payment annually, if every month $50, then annually it will be 50 times 12. But usually, most of the questions in here, the payments are 0. Okay, because they're not saying they're going to add any more money to the account. Because they're not going to add any more money, so just leave it blank. 0. Okay, they're not adding any more money. So now, after you enter this number, you're going to calculate PV, which is how much do I need to have if I want to have $1 million in 50 years with this rate. So, and then you see a negative number. Negative number represent money that you have to come up with your pocket. What you have to put it in. Make sense? Negative, right? Take it from you, right? So negative $65,584.93. That's what you need to invest so that you can have 1 million in 50 years. Okay? So are you comfortable using TVM calculator? So let's try one more questions. Let's see. Let's try number 4. Okay, let me see. So number 4, you have a TVM calculator open on your side? Hello? That's Destiny? Hello? Are you there? Okay. Okay, we'll hurry. We're almost done with this part, and then I'll let you go and finish your assignments, okay? So, do you want to go through
Yes.
do you want to go through one questions, last question, and then we can finish up.
Okay.
Okay, let's look at number 4 from the Cool2 handout. It's about regional.
Okay.
So since we discussed number 4, when you post your answer, you do other questions. Okay, because I just want you to practice here. Okay, so actually, I just make something up so that we can match our answer. Regional. So let's say you, Destiny, wants to find the future of an investment. How much money do you have to have? Make up some number. Pretend you have so you want to invest something. How much you have? Let's say 10,000. Okay, you have 10,000. That earns, to be realistic, now you cannot get 6%. Now let's say 3.5% interest rate. Okay, compounded. Let's say compounded quarterly.
Okay.
Quarterly means how many times a year? For 40 years. Okay, you're still young. Okay, let's do this question. So Destiny wants to find the future value of an investment of 10,000 that earns 3.5% compounded quarterly for 40 years. So we want to know the future value. So our FV. So every time before you start your question, you clear your TVM calculator, okay? But you have present value of 10,000. So in PV, you enter 10,000. And you have 3.5% compounded quarterly. Now this very careful, okay? if you look at what it say on the interest rate, it's an interest rate per period. So a period is when it compound. Since it's 3.5%, it usually is annual interest. Since it's compounded quarterly, you need to use 3.5 and divided by 4 to put it into the calculator. Okay, so 3.50 divided by 4. Okay, that's what you're supposed to have. And you are not adding any money to your account, so payment is 0. And now we're going to figure out NP. So NP is the end is how many times you compound a year. How many times do we compound a year in this question? 4 times, right? It should have 4 times. I couldn't hear you. So our period, our number period is equal to 4 times 40. Okay? Because you have 40 years and every year you compound 4 times. So 4 times 40. So if at the end of 40 years it will be at the end of 40 years it will have compounded 160 times. Oh. Well, I'm gonna finish this up and explain, and I'll send you the recording, and you can watch fast forward if you need. You know. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this up. So since I will enter NP, number of periods, 4 times 40, which is 160. So just to recap everything, I have PV of 10,000, FV, future value, I leave it blank. NP, number of periods, is 160 because it's quarterly, 4 times a year times 4 years. Payments is 0 because I'm not planning to add any money to it. And interest is 0.875 is because I got 3.5 divided by 4 because 3.5 is 1 year, and since it's compound quarterly, so it's 0.875. So now after I enter everything, because I want to calculate future value, I will click the one that I want to calculate, and I have to put in, hold on. So I'm putting in 10,000. So this is like, you can see when you put in money, you need to put it negative. So that in the future, you will get $40,305.81. If you put this money into saving whatever account it is, they can earn you 3.5% compounded quarterly. So you get 40,000 in 40 years. 40 years. Okay. All right. So I think that's it for today.